You don't even understand. I have been waiting to film all fucking week, bitch. I have been so excited to sit down and film my last reading wrap up for 2024. I cannot believe we're in December. I feel like I say this every year, like every month. I don't know what it is, but time really wigs me the fuck out. Like, I cannot believe it's Jingle Bell Rock time, bitch. Like, Santa Claus is coming to town in a few fucking weeks. I don't know if this will be my last video I'll film for this year. You know, I like to take Christmas off, and I'm a mum now, bitch. Like, you know, we've been mumming for 2 years. So Christmas time is a fun fucking time, and it's very, you know, joyous and about the family. So I don't know if I'll be filming, but I wanted to get my last reading wrap up for you guys now before the end of the year. Also, don't want to talk about the hair. It's curled like in one direction. It's due for a cut, like a big fucking chop. I'm gonna dye it dark brown one more time, and then next year we're going on a journey. We're going on a light hair journey. I'm undecided if I want to go cowboy copper, because I'm naturally a bit of an auburn redhead anyway, or if we're gonna do blonde again, because I am going grey. So it's time to mask the greys. Reading wrap up, last one of the year. We've got a fair few books to get through. Honestly, I didn't think that we were going to have a lot of books to get through today, but we do. I've got opinions. Yeah. I've got reviews. Okay, so we're gonna get into this video. I'm gonna go through every single book that I've read recently. I'm gonna show you the cover. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts, my ratings, you know, just how I deeply feel about a romance novel. We're gonna put the cover here, I think. I think here's nice. Yeah, I reckon we'll do here for the cover. Actually no, because I keep going over this way. Maybe I'll go over here. Maybe I'll just move. Maybe I'll just fucking move. How about that, bitch? And we'll put the cover there. Does that look good? Or should I go over here? And then we put the cover here. No, we're gonna go over here. Because I like to be angled a little bit. I like to be angled. First novel I want to talk about is a dark romance novel. We've got quite a few of what? What was I trying to say? We've got a few dark romance novels I'm going to be discussing today. The first one here is, let me get my notes because I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's a dark hockey romance. I know that for sure. Brutal Obsession. So this is the first novel in a series by this author. It's a dark college hockey romance series. And I've only read one book, which is this one. And I quite enjoyed this novel. Yes, the fuck I did. I really loved this book. But I will say right now, though it was like a 4-star read, and I did listen to the audio version as well, which I rate high. I'm a snob with audiobooks. This one was really good. The narrator for the dude, delicious. Like, he was yummy. He was very yummy. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Let me just tell you a little bit about the book. Enemies to lovers, okay? We've got a girl in college, a dude in college. He's a hockey player and he comes from like money, old money. His dad's a politician. And this girl, she is a dancer. Is it prima? I don't know. A prima ballerina, bitch. And he ends up getting drunk one night and gets into a car accident and ruins her fucking life. And they end up going to the same college together. And the enemies to lovers kind of blooms from there, bitch. He becomes kind of obsessed with her, but hates her. And she hates him for what he's done to her, but she can't escape him. So there's kind of like the basis of the story. Though I loved it, super spicy, super toxic, super fun even. Like, I was laughing sometimes, I was crying sometimes. It was an all-around good read. I've got an issue with dark romance at the moment. And this is me being a snobby fucking bitch. And you can call me a snobby fucking bitch. But when you've been reading romance, reading dark romance for years on end, and it's like the only genre you really read, you become critical. You become critical. And you know, I try not to be super harsh as well to authors because, you know, as an aspiring fucking author myself, I would literally fucking cry if someone ripped apart my book. Though I know there will be people out there that will. There was nothing wrong with the quality of the story or the writing or anything like that. And I will revisit this series when I'm in the mood for a dark hockey romance. But the thing is with dark romance at the moment that I have found is that it's so freaking predictable. Like, you know what's going to happen. You know what tropes are going to be featured. You know, like, the plot before you even get into the fucking story. Now, some people may enjoy that because it's, like, easy. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to read books like that. I'm just finding with a lot of dark romance books, I'm not remembering them. because they're all kind of blending into one. The touch how you die trope, the stalker trope, and the really intense obsession from the MMC, like they're featured in every single dark romance book, even down to the sex scenes, what types of kinks are present. Like they're all very much the same. Like there's a blueprint to dark romance and everyone's copying and pasting right now, and like every author's kind of putting their own like unique twist on it. And yes, that's going to happen. People are going to have very similar ideas when it comes to writing a novel, writing a dark romance novel especially. And if you're a reader and you become a writer, you want to write about the things that you love to read. So, you know, there's going to be double ups on lots of things. That's fine. Like that's not an issue. But I just feel like the originality to dark romance at the moment is very slim. I am someone that does not like predictable plots. I am someone that doesn't like going into a novel knowing what tropes are going to be present in the novel. I don't want to know much. I like to go in blind, and I know that that in itself is controversial. A lot of people want trigger warnings, they want trope reveals, they want to know all the details before they get into the novel. That is not me. I like to be shocked. If I'm reading a dark romance too, like I want to be triggered. Maybe that's a toxic trait of mine. Though it was good and I will revisit the story, it's not like my top favorite thing I've ever read. It's not something that I really remember. It's not at the forefront of my mind. I finished this book and then I jumped into another book. Yeah, it's super dark. We've got an MMC that's super possessive and obsessive and very morally black. It doesn't get me excited because when I read dark romance with like a morally black character, give me something different, you know, give me something that I haven't read before. Like, just because they're forceful on the FMC doesn't make them morally black. What else is a part of their character that makes them morally black? So yeah, again, not a bad story. I rated it 4 stars, which is a high rating from me. A lot of books these days get the 3-star mark. And again, I will revisit. It was just, you know, pretty standard. Then we got Beautiful Fiend by Lola King, which I recommended in a TBR video a couple of months ago. Why did my hand just turn into the claw? I told you guys that I wanted to read this, and I did read the first novel, and I really, really enjoyed it, though kind of same to what I said about Brutal Obsession. Lola does write morally black male characters, and this was giving. We've got like a gang war, and it's enemies to lovers. Opens up very kind of similar to God of Malice by Rena Kent. So if you like God of Malice by Rena Kent, you're gonna love this book. But it's not mafia, it's gangs, and it's like lower economical class, which is like my thing. I love reading like grimy, dark romances like that. There's not enough on the market. So I will give Lola props for that, because this was a lot more unique than Brutal Obsession. But again, Caden King is the MMC blueprint. Like, stock standard. I feel like I've read so many characters that are like him, to the point that he is predictable. There were more swoony moments though with Caden King than I felt with the MMC in Brutal Obsession. And this one was a 4-star read. I do highly recommend both of these series. I haven't finished the rest of this series, the North Shore series, and I'm planning on it because I know there's a couple of books in the series that other people have been hyping up. I will definitely be looking into Lola's backlist this coming new year, because I did see that she released another book that's like high society, secret society vibes, and I love that. But yeah, I'm just finding a lot of these novels I'm reading, especially in the dark romance genre, they're very similar, and they're not getting my heart rate going, and I'm not getting like swoony and excited over these novels because I feel like I've read them already 10 times over. Much love though. Like, if you want to check these out, and if that's your style, you want to read the same fucking shit over and over again because that's your comfort and you love it, check these books out. You will not be disappointed. But they just, you know, were kind of baseline for me. Magnolia Parks. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I finally finished it. Now, a little backstory, and I won't go too deep into this just because I do plan on talking about Magnolia, the universe, on its own separately to give it its limelight. I know a lot of you guys are curious about my opinions on this series. I started Magnolia Parks in 2021. It is now 2024 and I have finally finished it. I love the writing style. It is so poetic and metaphorical and magical and majestic, and it's just, I read Jess's writing and I'm like, oh! But Magnolia as a character, I cannot fucking stand. This is why Magnolia Parks was so hard to get through, because Magnolia Parks as a character, I've got qualms with. Like, she is a character that I am not a fan of, and she's infuriating to read. I also felt so much of this series has been spoiled, like so much of it. And that's another issue I'm having with a lot of romances, because romance is so popular and there's so many booktubers, book talkers, book Instagrammers. Like, we're always posting reviews and talking about, you know, scenes from books and stuff like that. And as soon as one book goes viral, every trope is revealed, every plot line is revealed. So when you go to read it for yourself, it's spoiled, and I hate that bitch. That's why I'm such a fan of, like, not having trigger warnings. Because if I see certain things on a trigger warning list that is like a part of the fucking plot line and is like the plot, part of the plot twist, I'm like, well, why the fuck would I read it? Anyway, Magnolia Parks, we'll talk about in depth very soon. I also finished Daisy Hates, which I loved a lot more than Magnolia Parks. I'm a Daisy girl. I've heard along the grapevine online that you're either a Magnolia girl or a Daisy girl. I'm a Daisy girl through and through, and I love the mafia representation in this book, but again, we'll get to the Magnolia universe very soon. The bonus. Oh my god, the bonus, the bonus, the bonus by T.L. Swan. Now, if you guys have been following me for a very long time, I mean, you know, a couple of years, you know that I love T.L. Swan as an author. Her writing is so fucking easy to read, bitch. You could almost read it with your eyes closed. That's how good it is. It's not very prousey, lyrical at all. It's very much action and dialogue. Now, some people might not like that in their romance novels. At times I do, and that's why I've always loved her books, because she's just a queen at banter, writing really sexy men, making it a fun time, but also adding emotion to it. Her novels are always jam-packed with drama and toxic shit, and you're just like, you can't get enough. But I haven't read something from her in a long time. The last thing I tried to read from her was The Do-Over, and I was not a fan. And that upset me, because I love that series, the Mile High series from her. The bonus. This is so fucking conflicting, because as soon as I opened the novel and started reading it, I was like, oh my god, I have missed her. I have missed her writing. And don't get me wrong, like, I read this bitch in like a day. Like, that's how easy and quick her writing style is to read. And she also adds so much drama and just like deliciousness to her novels that you can't stop reading. But I did DNF this at like the 70% mark, because what the actual fuck was this? Like, the heroine and the hero in this novel were infuriating. And I love the tropes that are in this novel. I do. I love them. Unpopular opinion, because I know a lot of people don't like the tropes that were in this novel. Point blank, but especially if they're not mentioned in like the trigger warning section, which, you know, we've already established that I am not like that. So I did love the fact that those tropes were in this book and I didn't know about it. But it just didn't land the way that I wanted it to land. The heroine and the MMC felt so immature, the way that they would bicker. And though they had like good banter, the chemistry was very lacking. Like, we were lacking the chemistry between these two. And it was just a really strange read for me, because I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it like her other books. So I did rate this 3 stars. I'm still a Mr. Masters hoe. Like, that's hands down one of my favorite books from T.L. Swan. And I did end up diving into her backlist after reading this, but we'll get to that. I read this random mafia book, Hidden Empire, by K.L. Mann? Yes, K.L. Mann. Again, another weird book. We started off really strong. Like, I was really into it. I liked the writing style. I loved the way that the story was set up. So we've got this girl who comes from an abusive family. Well, she's at home with their single mum, and the book opens up where her and her mum have gotten into a physical altercation, and her mum is like telling the cop, like, I'm done with her, she needs to go into the system, I'm disowning her, I can't deal with her. And obviously, you know, she's had a rough life with her mother. And then she drops in this conversation that her father is actually a mafia man, like the capo of this mafia. So the cop ends up taking her to the mafia dad that she's never met before and she was unaware of. And he kind of brings her into the fold. And then she's off to this mafia academy with the rest of her family because she's got like 9 brothers or something ridiculous. Now, yeah, we started off strong. I was like, this is funky fresh. This is something different. But it kind of felt a little juvenile for a mafia story. I feel like if you're going to write a mafia story, and I know that she was a teen, the character, there was just something so unrealistic. And I know we're reading romance. It's not meant to feel realistic, but I'm the type of girl with my mafia romances that I want it to feel pretty legit and more adult. Like, even if you're writing a female character that is young, she's still got to kind of read mature. You know what I mean? For me to like get the vibe. There was just something a little bit juvenile. Like, it was kind of fun and fluffy. And that's just weird for me personally with a mafia book. Some people may love it. Like, the reviews are insane. Like, people really, really love this story. And I believe there's more books in the series. I doubt that I will visit the rest of the books. But it was just a bit of a weird take on the mafia for me. Like, I liked it. And I was flying through the novel. But it was just very fluffy and fun. And personally, if I want to read a mafia book, I want gritty, grimy, dirty, fucking dark romance, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know my vibes. You know my vibe. Out on a Limb is a very, 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 very popular book on the market. Like, I don't know anyone that's read this book that hasn't enjoyed it. And I loved this book also. It was so wholesome. Like, it was just a wholesome, giddy, good time. Now, this novel is a surprise pregnancy, which is one of my favorite tropes, and I feel confident saying that. I like reading a surprise pregnancy though when I don't know it is one. Like, I want to be surprised right there with the fucking characters. That's when I love that trope. I would have liked this much better if I didn't know that it was a surprise pregnancy from the get-go. So we've got this girl, she's at like a Halloween party, she meets this dude, they hit it off, they bang, she falls pregnant. But the thing is about this couple, these two characters, is the MMC actually has a, I can't say the word, I'm going to say fake leg. He's missing a leg and he's got a fake leg. Don't take offense to that. Prosthetic, that's what I'm trying to think of. He's got a prosthetic leg, and she also has a disability with her hand. So the representation in this story was fucking magnificent. It was just really fun, swoony, like a warm fucking hug, bitch. It was like a cozy book. It was so nice to read this. The banter, like the dialogue in this book was A1, baby. It was top tier. I was laughing. But I will just say the writing style itself was not my favorite. It was beautiful, but it was a bit too lyrical and a little bit too much in a monologue for my style. I like lesser in a monologue, more dialogue, more straight to the point, like clean cut writing. But this was a beautiful book, and I rated it 3 stars, which people will probably be like, what the fuck? This is like 5+ stars, bitch. Like 6 stars, 10 stars, bitch. There's no stars. I loved it, but I wasn't obsessed with it. So after I read Out on a Limb, because the writing style with me didn't jive, right? I was having some difficulty reading the book because for some reason my mind was like, this is too much words for me to take in right now. I went back to T.L. Swan and picked up My Temptation, which is book 1 in the Kingston Lane. Now again, like the way this little Kingston Lane world is set up, like it's a street full, it gave me Desperate Housewives vibes at the beginning, just the way that like everyone's a neighbor. You get the gist if you fucking read the book. DNF'd this and rated this 3 stars because what the fuck was this, bitch? What the fuck was this? T.L. Swan, I don't know. I don't know if her quality of plotting and characters has just dropped, but I was not digging this fucking male hero. I just thought he was a straight up a-hole. And yes, I love a good asshole. But he's gotta like give me the swoony moments at the same time, and this one wasn't it. Like this one was not it. And I just wasn't feeling the chemistry. It was very insta-lusty, and again, that can work for me sometimes. That may work for you. And a lot of the time with T.L. Swan's books, they are insta-lusty. But this one was just overboard. And this is the thing, I see a pattern with her books. The book starts out with the MMC and the FMC getting together and having sex, and then like time passes and something's happened. That's how most of her novels are opening up, and I just want something different from her. That's all. So I don't know if I will revisit the Kingston Lane series. I liked the idea about it. It just fell flat for me. So they're all the books that I've recently read. As I said at the beginning of the video, am having a bit of a reading slump. What is going on with me? Writer's block, reading slump, I don't like it. I'm weird. I need to be able to read books and write at the same time. Reading authors suggest you don't do that. Not for me, bitch. I can't string a sentence together in my own novel if I'm not reading something good. I don't know. My mind is interesting. If you guys have read any of these, let me know your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more. I will leave my most recent videos linked on the screen right here. So if you're in the mood to keep watching me, you just click and do so. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I'll see you in my next video that I'll probably film straight after this. Bye.